Welcome to this session, guys. So, in this session, we are trying to cover a very good concept. Let me keep it somewhat surprised. Okay. So, before that, let me ask you a few questions. You will access any website, right? You will access any website. Do you know how does your browser know what to do when you type google.com? Means what browser will do when you type google.com? Who will tell the browser, right? How does WhatsApp? Now, if you do send a message via WhatsApp, right? So, how does the WhatsApp send a message across the world in the milliseconds? How that is possible? Now, if you send an email, right? Why does your email get delivered even if your Wi-Fi disconnects? And the next thing is how your Wi-Fi or your system gets the IP address, and how does a different devices talk to each other. Do you know how all this happens? There must be some powerful mechanism or system that coordinates all these things, right? We also face some problems every day without understanding why. Sometimes the website loads instantly, right? You would have observed you have typed a website and it is keep on rotating, and sometimes it loads very fast. WhatsApp message, sometimes it will show tick and sometimes it doesn't show, correct? And sometimes a email is sent but it takes 1 hour to reflect into the other email box. And sometimes your mobile show connected to the connected to the Wi-Fi but your internet doesn't work, correct? One application uses JSON format, one application uses XML format. How do they communicate? So all these things are very interesting to understand how those it happens. So before that, let me tell you what actually happens when you do a single tap on your system, on your browser, right? So as soon as hit enter, right? If you went to browser, type a website, hit enter, what all are things will happen? As soon as you hit any URL in the browser, right? So what happens is your device take that data, format that data as per the understandable format. Okay, then encode it. It encodes the data. Okay, then it will encrypt the data in the network, right? Then it picks the protocol because it has to now send the data to the other system, right? Then session, it has to maintain the session, right? Then transfer the data. Then data will be received. As soon as it has transferred, data will be received in milliseconds. Correct. In milliseconds, your data will be received. Then your system interpret the response. The response, correct. Response will be interpreted and it will be displayed on the screen. Displayed on the screen, right? So all these things happens on your system when you just hit some URL in your browser. So how all these things happening? So all these things will be done, all these magical thing or mysterious things will be done by application layer of networking. Okay. So today we will try to understand actually this application layer in detail. So what all are things happens in the application layer? Okay. So you know, right? This is a OSI model and this is a TCP IP model. If you see in TCP IP model, it is a first protocol, first layer, and in OSI it is a first layer. But we have seen OSI is more over a theoretical model, right? And this is a practical model. Most of the devices, means most of the communication happens over the network using TCP IP model. Okay. So we in for this session we will consider all these three as a application layer because we will understand the application layer from TCP IP model point of view. So here also these three layers, if you combine the same functionality application layer does in TCP IP. So what is application layer? We will start with that. So the application layer is the gateway between the human actions and the internet. So it's a gateway between these two. Application layer is one of the layer which is closest to the user. Okay, all other layers are working in the abstraction. Application layer also works in abstraction, but it is one of the closest layer to the user, right? When someone browses a website, when someone browses a website, uploads a photo, stream a Netflix, send a WhatsApp message, send an email, everything starts from application layer. Okay. And I want to clarify that application layer is not just a UI. Many people think that okay, application word is there, so it can be a UI. But that is not the case. This is not a Chrome. It is not a Chrome application. It's not a Gmail. It's not a WhatsApp. People might say, okay, then WhatsApp only the application layer. No, it is the brain behind all these things. Okay, so application layer powers your Chrome browser. Basically, it powers the Gmail, it powers the WhatsApp, but it is not actually your Chrome, Gmail, and WhatsApp. Chrome, Gmail, and WhatsApp are the UI based application where user can interact. Whatever happens behind the scene, whatever engine runs behind those, that is what the application layer does. So, what actually the application layer does? Okay, so let us see. So all the tools, right? All the tools. As soon as user hit, as soon as user does any action, right? To perform that actions, what all are tools are needed? All those are provided by application layer. For example, if you browse a page, correct? Application layer will give you HTTP, HTTPS protocol. It loads the domain, right? Then application layer uses DNS. If you send an email, application layer uses SMTP. Okay, you join the Wi-Fi, correct? Application layer uses DHCP protocol. If you do video call, application layer uses WebRTC protocols. Okay, so application layer is actually a control center. It has all these protocols or tools, you can say, in its bucket, and as per your action it fires those tools. Okay, so application layer, what all task it does is it provides protocol for apps. Okay, so apps do not understand networking. See, simply if you see WhatsApp, right, or any website, if you see, it doesn't understand the networking concepts, right? The application layer powers that. So Chrome cannot talk to server without HTTP. Emails app cannot function without SMTP. Wi-Fi connection cannot fix itself without DHCP, right? So everything is done behind the scene by application layer. Second task which application layer does is data formatting and encrypting. Now you are sending message from one system to another system, right? You might be typing google.com, so it has to reach to the google.com server, right? So all these things. So application layer ensures that both the systems speak the same language. If you are doing communication in JSON, then it will try to make both system understand in JSON. Multiple formats are there: JSON, XML, HTML, JPEG, MP4, ASCII, Unicode. These all are the application layer format. Okay. The next thing which application layer does is compression and optimization. Okay. This is done by your application layer. So what it benefits is, if you compress the data, if you reduce the size of data, it will transfer very fast, right? So you will experience the faster speed, right? So we have a couple of format which application layer is gzip. Then we have H264 for video, then WebP for images. All these things application layer does. Okay. Then fourth, which application layer does is encryption and security. If you are sending the message, right, it should not be tampered during its transmission over network, right? If somebody hackers try to read that message, it should not happen, right? So application layer take care of that. So everything encrypted at this layer. So login pages, payments, OTP verifications, API calls, all these can be verified in application layer. Okay. Then next thing which application layer has a capability is session, right? How website remembers you. So you would have seen, right? You logged in into one application, you can do your actions in that application with the same profile. It keeps on remembering what you did in the past, right? Recently viewed everything. So how does it? Application layer again. So the application layer has the capability of cookies, JWT tokens, okay, then OAuth tokens to maintain session. All these capabilities application layers uses. Session IDs. When Amazon says your session has expired, that's application layer talking to you, right? So all these things. Then next thing which application layer does is service discovery. Service discovery. Application layer uses DNS, we have seen, right? So DNS helps find server. If you hit google.com, right? It hits DNS. The request goes to DNS to figure it out the server name, server IP address of google.com, right? Then DHCP. DHCP is actually used to get the IP address for your device. Okay. Then there is another protocol, NTP. How your timing on your system synchronous with the world timing, right? How does it happen? It happens using NTP. NTP synchronizes the time worldwide. So now you would have understood, right? So whenever website is loading slow, right? So application layer is behind it. Application layer might be using caching, multiple protocols, compression, all these things going in the background. So if you see WhatsApp, somebody seen tick mark, green tick mark, right? So that is because the application layer has established session behind the scene. If you see there is no internet over your Wi-Fi, right? That is because your DHCP server might be taking time or your DNS is not able to resolve the IP, right? So your emails are getting delayed because SMTP retries in the background or server can be down. The application layer solves the communication problem that human never see, but always human can feel those problems. Hence, application layer is called as the brain, right? So we will see one real life example how actually it works, right? So you hit google.com, right, in your browser. So what the first thing happen is your browser communicates to the DNS server. Okay. So DNS server will give you the IP address of google.com. Google.com. So DNS replies the IP address. For example, 142.250.193.10, for example. Okay. As soon as DNS server has responded to it, you open the HTTPS connection with the Google server. Google server. Okay. And as soon as the connection established, right, the Google server respond with HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and show you the clean UI, right? And you will see the page opens in your browser. That's the google.com. Every part above all these things happens in application layer. And one more thing is whatever technology evolution which we see, right, it happens because of application layer. The layer below the application layers, right, those are like layers with some kind of a fixed functionality. Okay, those layer we cannot make complex, but application layer you can keep on adding functionality and make some innovation here, right? Initially we used to send only text. We are able to send now video and images. Why? Because the application layer started supporting the image formats, video formats, right? All these things. Now you can synchronously communicate between the two users. How that is possible? It is not possible because of transport layer or physical layer. Those layers are fixed. They have given a fixed responsibility. They are doing that one only. But application layer evolved. Application layer came up with a new ways of communication, WebSockets protocol. So because of that, now WhatsApp synchronous communication become possible. Zoom meetings are possible. All these meetings real time possible because of application layer. So some of the facts are whenever you hit a single web page, right? If you hit a single web page in your browser, it hits around 100 to 500 network calls, which we might not see, right? But it happens internally. DNS server, which we are talking about, right? Every day it handles around 600 billion queries per day. So whenever somebody hits anything in the browser, right, it goes to the DNS server. So 600 billion request DNS servers are processing. HTTPS, this protocol, 84% of internet is dominated with this protocol. Okay. So all these things done by application layer. I want to give you a quick summary of all the protocols. Protocols means all the functionalities which OSI, which application layer is capable of. So let me put it here so that you will better understand it. Okay. So it is here. So see this. So protocols application layer, OSI layer 7, right? Application layer. So what all are it does? Protocols that provide services directly to the end user application. HTTP, HTTPS for web communication. So as soon as you hit anything in your browser, hits HTTP, HTTPS request in the background. And that's how browser will get your response. Else browser is just a page. If it is not powered by HTTP, if somebody taken out the capability from it, it's simply a static page. It cannot do anything. HTTP is something which powered that. If you upload a file over the cloud or you upload a photo in the Google Drive or Dropbox, anything, file transfer protocols are used. If you are sending email, SMTP protocol application layer uses. If you are receiving email, IMAP or POP3 it can use. Then DNS. As soon as you hit any URL in the browser, DNS converts it into IP address. Then DHCP. DHCP assign IP addresses. So this is one beautiful things which I want to cover right here. So that is as soon as you open your system, right? As soon as you open your laptop, for example, how your laptop get the IP address. Now people might think that this is not an application layer task, right? But this is also application layer task. So what happens is here the only thing is the application is not visible to you. This application is actually a software installed on your OS which is actually firing the request in the background. So what happens is as soon as you open your laptop, right, your OS send a request because it identifies that you have on your system. So one message will be sent by the OS software. Okay. Because the OS software detects that there is no IP assigned to your system. So the OS automatically create a DHCP request. Okay. And it sends via UDP. Port is 68. Okay, exactly. So it sends and wait for response. And it gets a response with the IP address. This all thing happen very quickly as soon as you start your system. Okay. So that's how your system get the IP address. Okay. And this DHCP protocol comes in the application layer. So that is also powered by your application layer only. Then we have SNMP protocol. Okay, network monitoring. Then we have secure remote login. You can remote log into some of the systems, right? In the cloud systems, EC2 systems, all these things, application layer. Then telnet. If you have a Linux systems, right, you can remotely log in from this system to that system. Means if you have system here, if you have system there somewhere in the cloud, correct. But if you from your system you can connect to that system with the telnet. All these things happens because of capability added by application layer only. Okay. Then type synchronization, you have seen Radius, LDAP. LDAP is authentication mechanism. Then SOAP and REST services, whatever we have seen, all these things coming under application layer. Then presentation layer, correct. So adding encryption, SSL, TLS, JPEG, PNG, GIF, all this format application layer supported. Then MPEG, MP4, H264, ASCII, Unicode for text encoding, JSON, XML data format, HTML, gzip for compression, all this capability application layer has. Then session layer. Session layer, we have RPC, remote procedural call, net bias, point-to-point tunneling protocol, all these things, TLS establishment, application layer does. Okay. So now you would have got a good understanding of what application layer can do, right? So application layer is actually powering the innovation in the software world. So that's why application layer is very much important in the network and it is the topmost layer, most important layer, most complex you can say, layer in the network model. So this is all about application layer. I hope I would have given you some good understanding of application layer. So in the next session, we will again also try to understand the another layer in the TCP/IP model. But if you like this video, do share it with your friend. Do like it. So do subscribe to this channel. Do share it with your friends. And till the time, till the next video, stay tuned.